Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Renee. If you're new here, I live in an Afro bonnet, and so today I'm going to be showing you guys how I achieve this kinky curly Afro bun on 4C hair and how I get the ringlets and the texture to look like this. So if you follow me on Instagram, steph.com_, or just know me, you know I always do a Bantu knot. So I'm gonna show you guys how I achieve the Bantu knot. And this is one of my favorite styles to do. Sometimes I do it all the way back, sometimes I pick it out and wear it down. It just depends, but for me, like every natural style pretty much starts with the Bantu knot, because when you have a tighter, 4C hair texture, it's kind of nice to stretch it out and make it look closer to the length that it actually is, instead of like the shrinkage short fro that I would have otherwise. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do the Bantu knots, how I style it, how I get the bang and all of that stuff. I'm actually in St. Louis right now for a booking, and I thought, okay, well, what can I do in my downtime? I'll show the people how I do this style. So I wanted to come in and let you know what to expect before, so that you know whether you want to watch the video or not. But this is the end result. So I hope you guys can see I have my little travel lighting with me. It's not doing too bad, got the highlight kind of popping. But yeah, so I am gonna be getting right into it, and I do want to hear, what you guys think, if you like it, if you tried it, and definitely go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel, because I'm gonna be having all type of new more travel coming up, and I'm gonna be having more styling. I'm gonna do some clothing videos as well for like styling too, as well as more hair videos and beauty. So without further ado, let's go ahead and swipe that video on in. Okay, here I am with my freshly washed, deep conditioned hair. I'm going to start off by sectioning it. Since I'm going to be doing kind of smaller Bantu knots, I'm going to go ahead and put my hair into about 6 sections. You can do about 6 to 8 sections depending on how thick your hair is. I did rake through my favorite detangler, which is the Aunt Jackie's Not On My Watch Instant Detangling Therapy. You get about 12 ounces for $7.99 from Target. After raking that through and detangling my hair with a wide tooth comb, I then raked through my favorite gel that's super inexpensive. It's the Wet Lime Extreme Clear Professional Styling Gel. The great thing about it is it holds really thick hair textures as well as tighter curl patterns, as well as it's super inexpensive. It's about $2.99 from Target, and you guys saw how big that container was. So definitely a plus. Okay, so now that you have your product in your hair in the sections, you can go ahead and start with the front. Now, depending on how you're planning to style your hair, that would be how you would start. So if you wanted to do your hair down, you would do, very specific parts that are face framing, pointing the Bantu knots around your face the way you want them. If you want it more defined, smaller parts. If you want it bigger, so more stretched out, larger parts. If you're looking to wear it more as like a protective style for like a longer amount of time before you take it out, kind of giving that Rihanna vibe, then you want to make sure your parts are super neat and perfect. But I'm going to be doing that up down style I showed you guys, so I'm not worried about the parts being perfect, but I am making sure that I angled the front towards the front Bantu knots towards the front of my face for that bang. And right now I'm just brushing it through with my favorite detangling brush, the Tangle Teezer. Before I had this, I wasn't sure if I could or should be brushing my hair, but this brush has definitely been a game changer. I love it. So start twisting your Bantu knots all the way from the root after smoothing it, and you're going to go ahead and seal it at the end by twirling it around. Now, I've done a lot of trimming on my hair, but it's still not like super blunt, so I can get away with not using bobby pins. But if your hair is super blunt, then I would suggest grabbing a bobby pin and finishing the end of the Bantu knot with that to hold it down. I'm able to just twirl it. So if your hair is like mine, you can just twirl it. So very important to make sure you're detangling so that the curls go all in the same direction. This is a major key of Bantu knots. So make sure you're smoothing that and go ahead and twirl just like I'm doing. Now, if my edges were going to be showing and I was going to be having it all laid back in like a one bun, I would be grabbing my baby hair brush and smoothing the edges the way I want it into the Bantu knot, just to kind of like preset the baby hair. But since mine's not going to be showing, I'm not really going to focus on that. I also want to drop some tips because I am a Bantu knotologist. So let's say you want your hair to be bigger, even bigger than it is when you do your Bantu knots on natural hair, freshly washed hair. Try blow drying it first and then doing the same process. You'll get a bigger, more fluffier look. So sometimes when I wear my hair down and I want it to be, try to have the most length possible, I'll blow dry it first. You can even do it on like an old press and it comes out looking really nice. It gives like a fuller look than the natural does. But since I'm wearing it up, I don't need it to be, too stretched out or too massive. So doing it on natural hair works for me. Plus it saves me from putting that heat on it if I don't need to. Personally, I like Bantu knots more than any other stretching method, like braid outs, twist outs. I like it because I feel like it gets your hair closer to its real texture and like really stretches it out in like a curl, gives you a curl pattern, but just one that's like much bigger than your own. So it's definitely my personal favorite, but I will say the one major downfall of it is because you're wrapping so much hair together in a neat little ball when your hair is wet, it takes forever to dry. So what I would suggest is sitting underneath a hooded dryer for a little bit of time, or even just blowing some air on it if you're doing it overnight before you go to bed, just kind of get it started by drying it. But basically, this is getting pretty repetitive when I'm showing you guys, but I want to make sure I show you guys everything. So I'm going to go ahead and just speed the rest of it up as I go through, because sometimes when I chop stuff out, people are like, wait a minute, we needed to see the rest of that. What happened? So I'm going to show it, but I'm just going to speed it up. But hang tight and I'm going to be back at the end. All right. Just like that, we are at the last one. So if you guys needed to add more product, more gel as you went, definitely you always can use that to help smooth it. Mine was pretty drenched, so I was all set with what I had, but I'm gonna go ahead and twist this last one up. I'll sit under a hooded dryer for about 20 minutes and then I'll go to sleep, put my bonnet on. But here's a good showing, and tomorrow I'm gonna show you guys the next steps. All right, so now I'm going to show you guys how I take down the Bantu knots that I did last night. So I do start at the back, put a little oil on your hand so that you don't create frizz while you're taking out the little curls. Another trick is, if you notice they're not really as weighted, you can use the wet line gel that I used to put it in, or the oil, either one of that is fine. So I'll put a little bit on there to kind of weight it down a little bit more. Okay. Separating. One of the reasons why I love Bantu knots is because if you have a tighter curl pattern, it really helps to stretch out your hair. So so it looks like your hair is, you know, closer to its actual length instead of all the shrinkage that you would normally get. See how that curl is looking? And since I'm doing my Bantu knot bun, I think I told you guys, the way I laid the Bantu knots, I didn't really need to pay attention to where I was putting them, but like let's say you wanted to wear it down, then you know you'd make sure you put your part in the middle or on the side or wherever you know you wanted it to be, and you'd position the Bantu knots based on how you want it to lay. Also, if you want the curls to be bigger, you make the Bantu knot boxes bigger. If you want them more defined, you make the Bantu knot smaller. So since I'm doing the bun, more defined is better for me so that you can see some curls in the bun. So I did mine smaller, but if I was wearing it down, I would do the Bantu knot buns or boxes a little bit bigger. And then also you really have to make sure it dries all the way if you're wearing it down, because if it doesn't dry all the way, then your roots will be kind of shrunk eventually, and then you won't get the volume and length that you were going for. Also, sometimes I do a little bang here, and if you want it to fall a little bit better, then you come back through with some gel to kind of make it like stretch a little bit more, and then let it dry, and that's cute too. Last one, and here we go. So I'm gonna pick it out next and kind of fluff it a little bit, so hold on guys. All right, so I'm gonna take this kind of like pig wide tooth comb and go through and just kind of diffuse to make it a little bit bigger for the bun, and only picking it at the roots so as not to disturb the curls. Now another trick too is if you're wearing it down and you want it to stay bigger, you can use a blow dryer at the roots to kind of press it all out a little bit. So I actually think I might do a little bang in the front here. So I'm pulling out what looks like it could be my bang. Okay. And then this is my favorite tool. It's the Cuff Puff. It's actually a Black-owned product, but I use this. They have different sizes. This is the perfect size for me. I think this is their 3. I think it's the regular size, but they have smaller and bigger. But I use this to hold the bun, and it makes your bun look bigger. So I'm gonna show you guys how to use this too. All right. So I'm gonna pull all the hair that I want to go in the bun. Up, 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 up. Okay. And here we go with the cuff puff. Okay, now let's see what we're gonna do with this. So, want this piece to fall a little bit more down. And so I'm just kind of taking a little bit of the wet line gel, twirling it on my finger, elongating it, telling it I want it a little longer because I wanted to give that, you know, that face frame. Okay. Let's do the same thing for the other side. Although this piece is a little more frizzed, it didn't get as defined. So I put a little gel on it, holding it, and we're creating a little more curl here. And then okay. I'm also gonna grab a bobby pin, grab the bang, and push it down like that so that way it comes down really perfectly. Same thing to this side. Ooh, missed a piece. Okay. Love it. Now you have two options. You could, if your hair is a little longer, or really, I mean, maybe this would work too. You can pull it forward like this so it looks like the bangs came all down like that. I think what I'm gonna do is kind of pin them a little bit to make it like a separate bang in a bun. So, pop a bobby pin right in here. Because I don't want it to look like they're not freeform. Like I want it to look like they're cute and wild, but I also want it to stay exactly where I want it to stay. So I'm throwing a couple of bobby pins in there just to perfect the look. Yeah, okay, well that is the finished product. So you guys let me know if we're feeling it. Let me do a little spin. And that is my Bantu Knot up bun with bang. Hey queens, I'm guessing you just watched my video on how to get this look. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to see other styles because I do it down, do it up. Let me know if you want to see the full bun. You know, I'm gonna include a link to the product that I used in the description below as well. So I will look forward to hearing from you guys.